grab just a couple minutes to share with you one of the biggest life lessons I learned from my favorite author and business coach, Mr. Jim Rohn. He always said you work hard all day at your job to earn a living, but you should be working spare time, nights or weekends building your fortune. I know you, like everybody else, you probably work very hard doing what you do at your job. You do it hard, you do it well, you put in the hours, and you bring home that paycheck. But at the end of the day, Jim Rohn says that that's not building your brand, it's not building your business, it's not building your fortune, your retirement. You're trading your time for money for your employer. But what his life lesson is you have that job that you're spending all your full-time hours on, but on the side, a few hours a week, you should be building your own part-time fortune. So if your full-time job has not made you financially free yet, will it ever? Now, how much money are you saving and investing every month right now? Do you even have an actual plan to build your wealth? Or do you not? So most people spend more time planning a 1-week vacation than they do planning their life. So let's talk about creating your plan. What's required? I believe it's a moment of disgust. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want more from my life. I'm tired of not having time with my family. I'm tired of not being able to take the vacations I want to take. I'm tired of giving all of my most valuable hours to a job that doesn't really care about me. So that moment of disgust, when it hits you, you know it hits you. And you realize, you know what? When there's a will, there's a way. And when the why for starting your own part-time business appears, you'll figure out the how. So let's not talk pie in the sky. Let's talk real and let's talk conservative. Let me show you some numbers that I think is going to blow your mind how little you need to do to have a massive impact on your life. Check this out. So look at this chart. If you can start a side part-time business that generated only an extra $600 a month, and then you decide that you're not going to spend that money, but you're going to make that money and you're going to invest that money. Put the money to work for you. At just a 10% annual return, compounded over time, what will that mean to you? Well, $600 a month compounded over the next 10 years will generate $124,000 in your bank account. In 20 years, $459,000. In 30 years, $1.3 million, and in 40 years, $3.8 million. So as you look at your life and you're trying to decide what you want it to look like 10, 20, 30 years from now, maybe you want to retire. How much money are you going to need to retire? Do you need to have $500,000, $1 million, $2 million? Well, look, if you had $600 a month from a side business, you can see a plan right in front of you now. But what if you actually created a business that generated just an extra $1,500 a month? And again, these are realistic numbers. I'm not talking about pie in the sky, getting rich overnight. If you made an extra $1,500 a month, compounded at 10% each year, that's $309,000. In 20 years, it's $1.1 million. In 30 years, it's $3.4 million. And in 40 years, it's over $9 million. Now again, the S&P stock index over the last 30 years has averaged over a 10% annual return. So when you think about that, I can predict that I can start a business part-time, a few hours a week. We call it slivers of time. 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, an hour here. But a part-time business generating an extra $600 a month, look what it means to you. An extra $1,500 a month, look what it means to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the chart I just showed you got your wheels turning. I bet you're probably pretty excited about this. So I think there's 4 steps here. Step 1, start a part-time business. Step 2, invest the earnings. Step 3, retire from your job and ramp up your efforts on your business. And step 4, you're wealthy and free. I've got to say that one of the most fulfilling things in my life was not me deciding to start a part-time business and developing it into a multi-million-dollar empire. It's the chance that I've had to work with countless other people who needed a way to change their lives. They saw an opportunity to start their own part-time businesses, and to watch them flourish and become successful and see their lives changed, that has meant everything to me. So now let me share with you some of the reasons why, if you have not already decided to become an entrepreneur and start a part-time business, here are some reasons that you absolutely need to consider and act on right away. Never let your reasons to start a part-time business for yourself ever become your excuse not to. Because you might be thinking, you know what, I've been thinking over the years about starting a business, but I just don't have time to add something else into my life. That was my story. I almost completely missed it. My life almost didn't change. I was working in my real estate career 50 to 60 hours a week. I had no time for family, I had no time for friends. I was always grinding and always working. And when I was introduced to a business project that was incredible, I said, I don't have time for it. And thankfully, that gentleman did not just say, okay, and move on. He said, Brian, you seem like you're incredibly busy. I said, you have no idea. He said, do you like living like that? I said, well, not really. He said, what makes you think if you keep on doing what you're doing, that 5 years from now, you'll be any less busy than you are today? I said, well, I don't know, I never thought about it. He said, you've got to find a way to get a passive residual cash flow coming in from a side business so that you can cut back on your real estate hours and start enjoying your life. I said, but here's the dilemma. Even if I would love to do that, I don't have time to add a side business into my agenda. And he said, Brian, it's just a split second. You can find little slivers of time and let it compound over the next couple years and build yourself a great business income. And that's exactly what happened for me. I've been a stay-at-home dad my two kids' entire lives. I've traveled to 14 different countries. I work from home, and I've got the best lifestyle I've ever dreamed of. But that almost didn't happen because I almost let my reason to start a part-time business be my excuse not to. So that no time thing, don't let that be yours. Now you might say, well, I got plenty of time, I just don't have the money. Well, that's probably not a good feeling, right? If you don't have, how many years have you been working at your job, right? Several years, right? And you have not saved up a lot of money yet. Of course, that's not a good feeling, but if you keep on working several more years, is that gonna get any better? So what I would submit to you is if money is an issue, don't let that be your excuse not to start a business. That's got to be your reason why you've got to start a business. And look, you might even be in the camp of, hey, look, you know what? I personally just don't think I would be cut out for a business. I've never been an entrepreneur. I've always had a job. I've always had a boss telling me what to do and what not to do and so forth. I'm not sure if I would be good at it. I have heard that from countless people who had never been entrepreneurs. They've always been W-2 employees. But when we show them word for word, step by step, how to start a part-time business with little slivers of time, a few hours a week, and they can plug into a proven system and just follow the playbook, countless times, people have reported back to me. I've watched them blossom and develop into an incredible part-time business owner where their incomes are taken off, they're getting time freedom with their families. That would never have happened if they said, you know what, I just want to play it safe, I want to stick to my job and never even try to put themselves on a better path. So I just want to encourage you, no time, you got to do this. No money, you got to do this. You don't think you can do this, you've got to make the decision that if you don't want to stay on the path that's never going to get you where you want to go in life, you're never going to have that dream lifestyle, but the part-time business can, you've got to make that decision right now. So what's the key to succeeding in the age we're living in? I believe it's finding a hot trend or a company that's disrupting an entire market and then build a business within that trend. At the end of the day, it all starts with a small first step. Decide on a business and start part-time. You'll be surprised how quick it can grow. You can either sell yourself on why you can't, or you'll sell yourself on why you must. I hope that you make the decision today to go find the right business for you and get it rolling. Change your life starting right now.